G'day, I'm Benny Wallington, head drinking coach at 101 Tokens. Like that old bird from England at Christmas, this address is for my Tokens crew, but for all of you new crew, hang in there, because the following info may 1. Inspire you to do nothing, 2. Drastically change your life for the better, or 3. Make you just a little bit less shit. And for those asking what is 101 Tokens, it's a lifestyle I developed in 2016 to change my drinking habits. Firstly, I decided I'd cut my drinking down in half, so I set my drinking to 101 times that year, sessions, not individual drinks. Come on. 101 drinks. And every time I drank, the next morning I would ask myself one question: was it worth it? Yay or nay? This allowed me to increase my levels of being a good, fun, smart drinker, while the nays allowed me to identify what made me a Derek so I could cut that shit out. Since then, the process has allowed thousands of people around the world to do the same. And here's some things to prove I'm not bullshitting. Here's me on the telly, because the media never tells lies. And further data, statistical proof, there have been 85,968 tokens entered in 77 different countries. Approximately 53,000 of these have been yays, while the other 32,000 nays, opportunities for the crew to learn and be less shit next time. Or just be more awesome. And because I like to walk the walk or drink the drink, it's not the Kool-Aid, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Here in my annual address are my stats for 2019. Spent 75 of 101 tokens, soon to be 76. Actually 76. Love a good mango. 93% of these, it's actually pretty hot in here. The beauty of 101 tokens in the app is that you can look back over the whole year and see all of your drinking. Like, how often do we do that unless you've got some weird little diary thing? So what was my favorite yay for the year? It was when I launched my podcast, Finding the Frothers. And the reason being was that I kind of invited everyone over to come and do the Finding the Frothers workshop, which I thought was rad, and one friend turned up. Thanks, Seth. While in the past I may have drank myself into oblivion, being a failure and all that kind of shit, I decided that my intention for that night was to show up for all the people who came, or one of them. But as the night went on, more people rocked up, and after about 6 or so beers, everyone sat down, had about 50 or 60 people in the crowd, and we did the workshop, and it was absolutely fucking awesome. My biggest nay is you got to take the good with the bad. Well, my biggest learning, actually, unfortunately, was Dougie's Bucks Day 2. Love Dougie, but Dougie's Bucks Day 1, ripper, absolute yay. Dougie's Bucks Day 2, waves, sports, dress-ups, froth, all the good stuff. But I went a little bit too hard. You know that maybe 2 to 4 hours I probably didn't need to into the wee hours? I had to drive home about 4 hours the next day. I got home and ended up sleeping for about 16 hours. So while the whole experience was rad, eating up 4 days of potential, not ideal. This is an example of pushing past our steady ripping mantra, which is, we want to party hard, but we don't want to party so hard that we can't take our kids to football practice. Appropriate that metaphor however you like, because I could not have taken my kids to football practice. If I had kids, of course. Now, while shifting drinking habits is important, it's what we're known for, drinking coach, drinking transformations, whether you want to call it conscious drinking or smart drinking or not dumbass drinking, it's actually not the thing. The real goal comes from the things that you do with the more space, the more potential, the more quality of life that you open up as a result of less hangovers, less benders. So here are my most stoked things for 2019. Vote for the planet. Me and my buddies made climate change the #1 search topic in Australian history, and I almost got punched out in a voting booth trying to spread the word. I actually became a full-on serious coach, topping my cohort with the Flow Genome Project, frothy. I've since successfully coached people on lifestyle, drinking, and steady ripping on 4 different continents. I got into this weird routine of waking up on Sundays and just reading full books. Shout out to The Alchemist, Climate and News Story, Talking to My Country. 3 of the most influential books I've ever read. And lasted 8 months in a long distance relationship. Drinking's tended to fuck stuff up in that department previously. But more important than all of this, it was token number 17. On a sunny afternoon in Sydney, I hit 4 sixes in a row in my local 2020 cricket comp. And that was after 2 delicious cold ones on arrival. Mangoes. If that's not hacking Tipsy and vice optimization and finding flow within the right amount of alcohol, I don't know what is. But to finish on a serious note, I'll ask you this. What did you leave on the table or out on the cricket pitch this year due to drinking beyond your steady ripping? Did you lose cash, respect, potentially a finger in a machinery accident? If you've made the same mistakes year on year and you can't really figure out how to shift that behavior, you want to keep drinking, drinking is delicious, and give us a shout. Or at the very least, we could just trade stories about getting fired, injured, and almost killed. By the way, they're some of our best stories, but they're only truly our best when you don't make the same dumb mistakes twice. So let's be slightly less shit in 2020, and let's have a frothy, frothy new decade. Crack a mango.